Hi, everyone. Welcome again. This is Tony. I'm with Century 21 Judge Fight, and I am one of the full-time speakers for a 35 West home tour group. And it's a group of agents and vendors in our business that all get together and talk about what's going on in the market. And today I wanted to spend a little time with Anginette Jorrey, who is one of our best loan officers that works with our group. And our group has over 700 members, and a lot of you folks are not visiting our weekly breakfast, and you're spending time on the Facebook group. So this should give you an opportunity to see some of the professionals that come by and network each week in our group, and hopefully you can reach out to them and see if they can be part of your business too. So Anginette has been with True North Home Loans for just a short period of time, but she's been with this industry for 25 plus years. So she's got the knowledge that you need to help your clients.
You'd say that out loud, 25 plus years.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that. And I've got a couple of questions for her so that we can learn a little bit about her business and you guys can see who she is. So, Anginette, first of all, how are you doing today?
Oh my God, good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity to say hi, Tony. Nothing's
Absolutely.
in collaborating with my peers.
Well, my pleasure, of course. So, there's a lot of folks here that don't know you yet because they haven't come out to the group, and you frequent our group quite a bit every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock.
From day one, from the very first meeting.
That's right, from day one. So we're at 35 and Westport on the west side of the Metroplex here in Tarrant County, and we meet at Lone Star Brunch every week at 9 o'clock. And for those of you that don't know Anginette, I wanted to, ask as a loan officer, what makes working with you a little different? What would you say is your lane when you're looking at helping people with a loan?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so I focus on the big picture. So, like, imagine multi-lane highway. Each one of us has our own lane. There's a realtor lane, a lender lane, a buyer lane. You've got your title company inspectors and appraisers, and they have their lanes too. But I see us all traveling this path in tandem together as a team down the highway. We're all headed for the same goal. The end result is what? Closing day. Helping the clients get there on time is very important. And I hit that mark every single time, by the way. You can check me out. But staying in my own lane, I focus on financing. I collaborate with my realtor referring partner. I talk to the borrowers all the time. We reach out to inspectors and appraisers and anyone else that might be involved in a project, like CPAs and financial planners for the client's sake. But bottom line, I stay in my lane by focusing 100% on financing. I direct all the real estate questions back to my realtor agent. And I reaffirm to the borrower how great their agent is, by the way, and that they are definitely the most qualified to answer any questions, on the sales side, property side. You're up front with them in the car all the time, showing them properties and answering their questions and finding out the most you can about them. And I remind them of why the agent and I work together. And your team, as a buyer, is very important. So, with this being the most significant investment in their life, their team has never been more critical. And me, I am a part of the big picture team. I'm on the highway with all their other teammates, getting them to the finish line. It's so important that we all work together, talk to each other to get them there.
Yeah.
They're, I love the buyers because, my gosh, from the minute I meet them, I have an immediate Zoom call right after they apply. They have 24 to 48 hours. We get on the phone. I tell they're like my family. So it's so important to me for them to know that I'm here for them every time. I answer my phone all the time unless I'm sleeping.
Right.
I answer at that moment because I'm in a meeting or I'm doing something fun like the Zoom call. If my phone rings, I will just send them a quick note because I'll call you back. You'll never know or wonder, I should say, you'll never wonder, when am I going to speak to Anginette? When am I going to talk to her? Where are we in the process? Communication change. So my lane is taking care of your buyer as if they were part of the big picture family. So just know that. But that's
I
what's
really like that.
all those property questions and things like that to you guys.
Well, that's really good. I think that we all need a little bit of that validation by each, professional in that part of the transaction so that people feel comfortable knowing that when we do have to shake hands with other parts, of
Mhm.
the deal, that they can feel confident that we're all communicating to each other and that we're, working for their best interests. So I think that's really great.
And I was in a seminar recently, and really quick is that talking about the younger generations. Gosh, wish I could pull them out of the trenches and get them onto the road faster. But is that the word trust is huge for them. Like there was some massive
For
survey done
sure.
for certain age groups more than ever because the face to face is less and less.
Yeah.
The data that they're searching online about real estate agents, about financing, about property inspections, whatever that is, trust is huge. So if
Yeah,
they
there's too many scams out there. There's too much fluff, too much weird
trust
stuff that
unscrupulous
just makes them feel
people,
uncomfortable.
dishonest folks, that as soon as they trust their realtor, then hopefully they're going to trust those that they refer their buyers to.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
care of them.
absolutely. So we're a month into 2026 now, and of course we're going to use this video for a while. So, this is when it was being filmed, but a month into 2026, so we still have all of our goals in mind. We still have all of the, kind of ideas of how we're going to change our business. So I wanted to ask you because we've got a lot of, agents that are going to see this, and we've got, over 750 members total in our group. When you think about the best client to work with or what your perfect referral is, who are you trying to target?
Oh, I love that part because this is what I love to tell you what I love to do the most. Is the first thing I want to say is that I love the company that I'm working with now. We just started this as a group together last summer. So it wasn't something I just jumped onto and heard about. It was something we built and created together, and it's been an amazing ride so far. But to answer that question, we have a vast array of products. A lot of my favorite lender friends and so forth, we all have similar loan products.
Sure.
So a lot of companies, we all do the same thing. We all have access to the same rates. We all have the same of the same of the same. But every now and again, someone will be able to provide something different. And this company that I'm working for now, we are we have vast array of products because we are a DBA of a national corporation that we have products that aren't even heard of out there available to other folks. But to answer your question, even though I can do a lot for a lot of people, my favorite referral are two, if I can mention two real quick. First
Sure.
time buyers. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's the big sister in me. I don't know if it was because I was an adult educator for a while, not in the school system, but just through industry. Um, but I enjoy showing them what it's like to get a mortgage, what it's going to take to get them there, but more importantly, answer all of their questions, getting them on Zoom, getting on that comfort zone, instilling that trust factor in them, first time home buyers. And I would really like and hope to see more first time home buyers enter the buyer pool. I really want to see the age
Yeah,
drop.
I think we're going to get a lot of folks back. There's definitely some stuff out there that's going to change the affordability picture, and we'll see first-time home buyers again.
I do too. And I really want to see the first time home buyer age drop. Did you know that the average first time home buyer is now 40 years old,
My
according to the
goodness.
National Association of Realtors? 40.
Wow.
When so many of us were buying our homes in 20 and 30s because of where we are in today's society, it's an an older age group. And it's like, well, why not the younger groups? What's preventing them holding them back? So I hope to see more people begin the journey, the home ownership, a lot sooner through various means that's happening in the industry. But I also hope to see the move up buyer re-enter the market. It's kind of been sitting there. So many people have been locked into their current homes. So the movers and shakers of the industry are the move up buyers. First time home buyers is my fave. It's my jam. It's what I love. I've been told by many real estate agents I'm really good at it with their buyers, the comfort zone, the trust. And that's what my partners have shared with me. And so I take joy in that. Oh my gosh, number two, VA. Love, love, love. Love my
Yeah,
veterans. So grateful for them and their service. I'm still surprised a lot of times when they don't know that they have these amazing benefits to them
sure.
and what they really mean. And then I'm also surprised because, every now and again I hear that another member couldn't do one. So, and I don't know why, but there you go. So first time buyers and VA, those are my jam. Love, love, love them both. But I can help them do a lot more.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, I like the first time home buyers too. It's a lot of fun to work with those folks that, you can really do a little bit of hand holding and, kind of share some of the education that, we work at on a regular basis and they may not, know anything about. I like to tell people that I want to be your real estate Google because I know you've been out there Googling. So, let's kind of put this into perspective for our market and help you through,
They
that stuff one step at a time.
like that, don't you? Real estate Google.
Yeah.
But to finish that off, is a great referral from you guys is an introduction, a solid, warm introduction, including, just sharing information so that I can reach out to them sooner than later. People have a
Yeah.
hesitancy on making that phone call or reaching out. I don't know why. They're scared. People call me all the time about how
Of course. Yeah. Just a fear of the unknown. I get it. Yeah.
it's all the unknown. So that's what I love. First time home buyers in VA.
Well, speaking of the unknown, that really kind of leads me into another question. I think a lot of people have fear around the mortgage and around the purchasing of a home because they're worried it's going to get messy. So, can you think of a time when a deal maybe recently got messy, there was a problem, and you had to kind of pivot to fix it?
As a matter of fact, unfortunately, that happens a little more often than I like. And
I
usually it's
think
not,
that's market driven, really. I mean, if we had more people that were out there transacting, because our transactions are down probably 25%, then we would have a little bit more of the smooth ones. But, yeah, we get some messy ones.
I love the smooth ones. And my team is amazing. And we work really hard up front to make sure we don't ever have that messy in our house. But the messy that I want to talk about is it's not throwing anybody under the bus. It's the situation is when it gets messy for the buyer on
Mm.
another side. So like a messy deal is first time home buyers, you're so shy and scared and have gotten to that comfort place and a week before closing, the seller backs out. That's kind of messy.
Yeah, that's very messy.
It's nothing to do with them or anything. How do I handle that? I'm that big sister. I'm explaining to them there's a reason for everything. God's got this. You can't control what another person does or doesn't do. So that was hard for them, but they did go and find another property. Thank goodness that real estate agent. And I told them they were awesome. Found them another property pretty quick. And we
Good.
just started. But going to another messy one was a VA client that I had. Her name's Katarina, and she is was already discharged, honorably discharged out of the military, working in the private sector. But she has her VA benefits. She was moving from California to Texas, being transferred with her company. And the messy part about that was they had a 45-day close. 45 days, Tony. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever have 45-day closes unless it's an out of the box scenario that's going to require it. But 30 days in, the lender that she was using, because she wouldn't listen to a real estate agent and call me the first time. 30 days into that 45-day timeline, they told her that they could not get her approved and get her a loan.
Oh, oh,
I mean, I
yeah.
know things pop up in the middle of stuff and it's not, you know, it's no one's fault. It just happens. But in this situation, I talked to her for 15 minutes just to find out what that issue was. A little bit longer than I wanted to. So there's always something to everything, right? I couldn't understand why it couldn't be done, period, in a normal time frame, much less at all. So once you sent me documents in, my concerns were validated that there were not concerns. We can get this done. No problem. Can you buy me a little extra time because 14 days on a VA start over is kind of short. Well, I'm
Sure.
here to tell you that 15 days after our phone conversation, she was closed.
Spectacular. I love that. That's great.
So that was messy for her, not necessarily for me. The only messy part was picking up the pieces and putting it back together and getting her. So we missed a day or two from her original close date, but that was just a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So just,
Well,
you know,
when I think about some of these messy deals, some of the stuff that ends up becoming a challenge at the end, and a lot of us, agents included, we kind of flex our muscles when things go, poorly, because that's a lot of the reasons why we're there is to, mitigate risk, to make sure that when things do go sideways, we know exactly what to do. Whereas somebody that's kind of left out on their own, or maybe they're on the sale side and they're a for sale by owner, they may not know what to do in these extenuating circumstances that don't happen very often. So, in my years, I've recognized that there are some things that we can avoid, problems that we can avoid with good communication up front. And if an agent will ask a few questions when they're meeting their buyer for the first time, it makes it smoother for the lender. So, are there a couple of things that you think a real estate agent could ask their buyer in that initial meeting or phone call that would make it smoother for you?
there are a few tips on things that could make it a little smoother, especially right out of the gates. Um, like for example, did you own a home before? When was the last time you purchased one? So that gives me a comfort zone to find out why, if they even know how the process works, to know where they need to slow down and start from. Here's for step number 1 to step number 10. Did you take out a mortgage with that process? That'd be helpful for you guys because then you'll get a comfort zone that they know how the payment system works. They know that it's going to adjust, on a regular basis year to year after taxes and insurance change. Have you spoken to a local lender? And that why local is better than using online? There's my air quotes. Sorry about that. My brain into that. They do that all the time. But so but just talking about why using local, even using a local real estate agent versus some 1-800 on the system, don't really need to meet a agent face to face kind of agent, is valuable. But using a local is so valuable. You've got state rules that might be different between states. And sometimes that can impact things, the way things work, closing processes from state to state. So just understanding that working local and why the pre-approval process is so vital to securing an offer and getting to closing on time is important. So asking some of the good questions, not just did you own a home before? Did you have a mortgage? Have you spoken to a lender? What do you know about, your credit? Have you peeked at it? And by the way, I have some amazing people as your real estate agent who will take care of this for you. Let's get them on the phone and talk to them about it.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of like a placement test in high school. You move to
Oh,
a new
thank you.
school in a new state. It's like, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to find out what grade you're in. I'm going to find out where you should be as far as this educational process. So you're right. If they had bought a house in the past, then there are certain things that they might not need as much hand holding on. And, we never want to offend somebody and make it ultra elementary when they might be more advanced. So I think that that's really great. And and that kind of bleeds in with the communication that you have with your agent partners. Um, I've got some that want to call every couple of days and talk to you about the process. But if the agent doesn't know how the process works, then that's going to drive you crazy. To have somebody call you all the time wanting the next step, the next step, the next step. So in a perfect scenario, when you're working with a great agent, how often are you communicating with the realtor about, what's going on with the loan or the process with inspections and option periods and all those kind of things?
Well, you know what I always say, and I think many people do, communication is vital to a smooth and successful experience. But saying it and doing it are two different things. We say,
Amen.
okay, do we? And how do we? We talk about follow it, but do we really? And then just information and education, helping people understand what's going on all throughout the process is huge. So the one thing I want people to know is loan officers don't need to wait until the last few minutes to update anything. Tell me what you've got going on. You have an amendment. Sometimes we won't even know about an amendment till closing day. When the
Yeah.
title company says, oh, by the way, we have an amendment. What? That's
And it's got
okay.
money on it.
There's like concessions, there's like specifics, there's things going on in that amendment that I had no clue about. And oh my gosh, I can't spin on a dime because there's processes and rules that may not allow me to flip that around in 24 hours. So
Right.
help me not cause a delay because of something we should have known up front. Amendments are huge and helpful. Sometimes even just like some of the conversations y'all have, you may not realize that tidbits are important. I mean, think about it. You're their point of contact. You're their first person. You're it, relatively speaking. They introduce you to the experts and preferred partners to help you get the process done. But at the end of the day, as a realtor, you hear things that we may never hear. Oh, by the way, and then when they get ready to move next month, what?
Right.
He's being, he's thinking about not re-enlisting. What? And we didn't get that tidbit. I had a VA client, bless his heart, no matter how many times we talk about it. And I keep up with that. Oh, by the way, at the beginning, I tell them we're going to need to confirm your re-enlisting. Okay. You're re-enlisting, right? Couldn't get the letter in, couldn't get the letter in. Are you re-enlisting? Yeah, I think so. You think
Oh,
so?
yeah, no thinking. Yeah.
So a week before closing, I now realized I think so. That's why we couldn't get the letter from this commanding officer. And the commanding officer reached out to us. It's not their job, right? We just need the letter. And so he wanted to be an independent musician. And so not having a job and no income wasn't going to quite work for that loan,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
too bad.
He didn't, but what if he had mentioned something to the realtor in all those drives around town looking for houses? I don't know. And how do we really know what's important when you hear them?
Yeah.
But
That's a good
something
example. I think that that's really poignant. Yeah.
something that's really important too. We're equally committed as you guys are on getting that loan closed and getting it closed on time for sure. But I don't know how many people really understand how, we're not volunteers. You're not volunteers. How do you get compensated? They might not
Right.
need the nitty gritty details, but if you're getting a lag or pushback, I'm here for you. This is what I do. You might say it differently, but between colleagues here, I don't get paid if I don't close a loan. They don't need to hear it like that. I don't get paid if I don't close a house sale. They may not need to hear it like that, but some form or fashion of, I work hard at what I do because I don't get paid if this deal
Right.
doesn't.
Right. I'm only successful if you're successful.
Love that. I love that better. If we're successful together, then I'm successful. So I
Yeah.
work harder than someone who gets paid a salary or a stipend per loan or so forth. I am 100% commission. So that's why I work hard for you and I
That's
work
good.
hard
I
for
love
all
it.
the people that you bring my way.
I love
There's
it.
nothing unturned in her world.
Well, Anginette, I got to say, I really appreciate getting the opportunity to see you most weeks and to talk about this kind of stuff, and and of course, talk about your family and your life and what's going on. So I feel very connected to you thanks to our
You.
meeting, and I really appreciate you taking some time to answer some questions online for the folks that might not know you. So thanks again,
And
and
a great way to get to know me is to give me a chance. Give me a call. Just chat with me if nothing more. I'm here
absolutely.
to win it with you. And Tony, tell everybody out there they need to come visit our group because this is probably one of the most intentional, productive groups I've been
Well,
involved in.
thank you for that. Absolutely. We definitely want more folks to come out. We probably get anywhere from 30 to 40 people show up for breakfast, from time to time, and it comes in waves. But we look at a couple of houses every week. We share some time with a few of the vendors, and it isn't always just title and lender. It's sometimes some more you know, I guess you'd say oddball vendors out there, vendors that aren't the ones that we see, contribute more often, just to make sure that we're bringing a lot of value to, agents out there that need some help. So thanks so much for that endorsement. And of course, this is an endorsement for you too. Your contact information is going to be on this video so that if you're an agent out there and you're looking for a great lender to be able to recommend or talk to, Anginette's your girl.
Thank you, Tony. It's been a hoot visiting with you.
Thank you so much. All right,
Have,
guys.
have a
See you next
successful
time.
weekend, guys.